From the moment Orochimaru said that he was like the guy who mixed green and blue together, he instantly became one of my favorite characters because the guy had absolutely no shame in his thirst for knowledge, that is. Not only did we find out that he wanted to know every jutsu that was openly known to man, but he also wanted to learn every forbidden jutsu ever created, and eventually he wanted to create his own jutsu derived from all of his research. Most Naruto fans would agree that Orochimaru's thirst for knowledge is pretty hardcore, but even during the Boruto era, Orochimaru's past deeds when searching for knowledge are continuing to come in light, and in this case is actually impacting Sasuke's mission to find a cure for Naruto's disease that is taking place during the events of the Retsuden novel series. Now, in today's video, I'm going to share with you how Orochimaru's thirst for knowledge not only led to him to going to the country of Ridaku, the country where the Sage of Six Paths once lived, but his actions while in the country also provided a serious hamper on Sasuke and Sakura during their mission to get that cure for Naruto that I was telling you guys about earlier. Now, the information is given to us in the Sasuke Retsuden novel, which is set after the events of the Versus Momoshiki arc and the Naruto Shinden novel, so that being the Naruto Parent and Child Day novel, the Teacher Star Pupil novel, which is the Sasuke novel, and the Shikamaru novel. And it's also set before the events of the Ao arc and the Kawaki arc of the manga. If you guys recall, in the Ao arc, you hear Ao say that it's been 16 years since the end of the Fourth Great Ninja War, and the Versus Momoshiki arc is 15 years between that. So that should tell you that there's a 1 year time skip that exists between the end of the Versus Momoshiki arc and the start of the Ao arc. So we got a little bit of wiggle room to play with here. Now, it's in the scene that Sakura has won a very complex card game, with the prize being the key to the underground library that is forbidden to any prisoners or staff, and Sasuke and Sakura are actually risking execution by going down into the library because they believe that the astronomical map that Kakashi discovered did actually exist during the events of Kakashi's mission in Ridaku that takes place during the Kakashi Retsuden novel. They believe that it was actually located in this portion of the prison. It's in the moments when Sakura is given the key from Sasuke's cellmate that we learn just how much Orochimaru's actions actually impacted Sasuke having a hard time gathering intel while in Ridaku, and later on in the novel we actually learn why Orochimaru was in Ridaku, and the jutsu that Orochimaru was researching is one that many Naruto fans will be familiar with. So as a challenge to you guys, I want you guys to tell me right now, what jutsu did you think Orochimaru was researching? And I want you to edit your comment afterwards and tell me whether or not you got it right. Now, what I'll do for you guys now is go over the scene in question and then come back to you guys with my thoughts. But before I do, I just want to give Bethany Rose a thank you for all of her hard work in translating this novel from start to finish. As I've told you guys before, translating Japanese to English is an extremely daunting and extremely difficult task. So if you haven't already, make sure you go over on Twitter, make sure you guys thank her, and it's going to be here I'm going to begin quoting. Finally, I've been waiting. With Sakura having said that, Pinjira pulls back into the bookcases and comes back with the brass key hung on his finger. Here, the key to the basement library. Just return it as soon as you're done. If it goes missing, it's the strongest form of punishment for everyone in this library. I'll return it soon, I promise. Thank you. When Sakura tried to take the key, Pinjira pulled back his hand and added, even if the title is in the catalog, books on astronomy aren't guaranteed to be stored down there. What does that mean? It said in that catalog, it said that the book was there. That's why it's not always accurate. I know some collections were being managed at the Royal Palace. A couple of books from that time, they actually went missing. Could've said that earlier. Sasuke glared. Pinjira shrugged his shoulders, saying, it's a terrible story, misunderstanding Sasuke's glare. I wonder if the Royal Palace didn't know how precious the book was. Some decades ago, there seemed to be a record of an ambassador from a country who came looking for a book. He didn't return it either. Was there a particular book? Sakura listened. Some forbidden book that shouldn't have left the past doors. But the former king loved the guy. I think his name was Orochimaru. The unexpected name caused Sasuke and Sakura to glance up. There was no chance that that name belonged to anyone else besides the serpent that they knew. That absolute demon of a snake man. Even he had wandered into this country so far from the land of fire. If that was the case, why the hell did they come all the way out here to Ridaku to seek this information? End quote. Now, I gotta say this before I go any further, okay? Now, when you hear that internal monologue where Sasuke says, why the hell did they even come all the way out here to Ridaku to seek this information? You have to remember that Konoha is on good terms with Orochimaru, and Orochimaru knows about Naruto's inability to mold chakra and the fact that this illness is actually killing Naruto. So Orochimaru let these folks travel all the way to Ridaku and didn't say nothing about the fact that he went there. I love me some Orochimaru, man. I love me some Orochimaru. And I before I go further too, I do gotta say, on the serious note, right? When we get past that Orochimaru greatness, think about what Pinjir said. He said that if Sakura and Sasuke got caught, it wouldn't just be them that got hung, but it'd be everyone inside the library at the time. So that's telling you that when it comes to this information is being hidden for a reason. Now, I'll go back a little further for you guys. So later on in the novel, roughly a couple of chapters later, when Sasuke and Sakura are further into the investigation looking for Naruto's cure, Sasuke realizes that Orochimaru was in the Ridaku country seeking information on the Edo Tensei Jutsu. Now, obviously, we know that Tobirama, he's the one who created the jutsu, but it makes a lot of sense for Orochimaru to put two and two together, thinking that someone before Tobirama must have tinkered around with the similar jutsu, which, depending on how you read the information, could possibly have been the Sage of Six Paths, but once again, just to clarify, it depends on how you read the information that we're given. Orochimaru isn't the type to be satisfied with just knowing what a jutsu is, or even how to perform it. He has to know every single detail about why it was created, and he has to know every single detail about its origin. Seeking information like that led him to coming to Ridaku. Looking at the Naruto timeline, the only real time I could see him potentially coming here and staying for an extended period of time would be after he left Danzo's root organization, after being busted by Hiruzen for experimenting on children and missing ninja. Orochimaru would have needed to go off the grid for a pretty long time, long enough for people in the Anbu to stop their search of him, because his trail would have gone cold. Now, we know from the Kakashi Retsuden novel that traveling nearly non-stop for 20 days at peak speed is how long it took Kakashi to reach Ridaku from traveling from Konoha. For someone like Orochimaru, traveling this far away from Konoha in order to avoid capture, all while doing research, is a really smart option in my opinion. His actions here led to a very valuable book being stolen from the king of Ridaku. It can be argued that if Orochimaru never came to this land and never stole this book, security might not have been so tight around the restricted portion of the prison, because you have to keep in mind that we do know from earlier on in the Sasuke Retsuden novel that most of these prisoners are illiterate. They can't read, and some of them can hardly write. So I want to know from you guys, what do you guys think about Orochimaru's time in Ridaku? And if you're like me, would you like to see maybe a small filler episode? If this does get animated in the Boruto anime, maybe a small filler episode fleshing out what Orochimaru was doing in Ridaku. But I want to know from you guys down in the comment section. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.